So the title of this one is Wisdom, Sorrow, and Peace. And I'm just going to share with you, something I went through that I think will be a help and an encouragement for y'all. So this is, I'll give you the backstory and then I'll give you the peace. So I began praying for wisdom and asking the Lord to bless me with wisdom. And I believe that God began to answer that prayer. And there was this period of time in my life where for like 5 days straight, God just like dumped wisdom on me. And what I mean when I say dumped wisdom on me, I mean, there were things that I didn't know and understand about our world and how it operates. And when I began to know that and understand that, I began to feel a certain way. And after that 5-day period, God came to me and showed me something. And for a second, I felt like there was something that was confusing in the word, but we know that it's not confusing because the devil is the author of confusion. God is not. And so there was clarity. I went from confusion to clarity, or what I thought was confusion to clarity. And I wrote these thoughts down, and I want to share these thoughts with you. And then I'll talk about it for a little bit and hope that if you're going through something similar to this, that this can be an encouragement to you, serve as some direction. So this one is titled Wisdom, Sorrow, and Peace. I wrote it down, so you might see me look over here. That's why. But it's based off of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 17 through 18. And this is what it says. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this is also vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. And for a second, I was kind of confused because I was like, well, wait a minute, God, I asked for wisdom. And as I begin to receive this wisdom from God, I begin to feel more grief. And this is what I wrote down. I prayed and asked God for wisdom. He answered my prayer and began to give me wisdom. This wisdom led me to see how our world really operates. It led me to see how people really are, how human nature really is, how this system that we live in called life, this life that we do in this world system, wisdom led me to see how it truly is rigged in the favor of the kingdom of darkness. The things God began to show me overwhelmed me and my mind, not my heart, but my mind. The realization of what I knew began to consume my thoughts day and night. My sorrow truly increased. And then out of nowhere, I remembered that my Father is in control. So in the end, it will all be made right. But for now, I still had sorrow. And so I began to wrestle with something. Why would God tell me in the book of Proverbs to get wisdom if he knew that it would bring me sorrow? Didn't God say to me that happy is the man who gets wisdom, that wisdom is the chief thing to get, that she's better than rubies, she's better than a defensed city? So I felt like, God, why would you tell me to get wisdom if it was going to bring me sorrow? But here's what happened. The wisdom that I began to get then led me to pray for an increase in his peace. I'm going to say that again. The wisdom that I got increased my sorrow and my grief because I started to see this world for how it really is. And so I said, God, why would you tell me to get wisdom? You told me to be happy, but I also see that the wisest man ever, Solomon, in his own words wrote, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. Why would you tell me to do that? And then that wisdom led me to realize that I need to pray for more peace. You see, it's kind of a juxtaposition. How can you really know joy if you don't know pain? And how can you really experience an increase of God's peace if there is no increase in sorrow or grief? I'm rhyming and I ain't even trying. But seriously, I just wanted to share this with you. I just wanted to share with you that by praying for wisdom, there was a time in my life where, as I looked around and I saw how schools really operate, the agendas, y'all know what I'm talking about. There's all kind of agendas that are out there. The agendas that are out there. When I really started to understand spiritual warfare to a deeper degree, it increased my sorrow. I'm going to share one more thing with you about a conversation I was having with a friend today. And I'll leave you with something and hopefully that'll be helpful. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of Christians say, I know that this is a worldly system. I know that this system is run by the devil. I know, agree, and understand that we are in spiritual warfare. But I think a lot of us don't understand the degree of spiritual warfare that we are in. We don't understand the nuance of it all. It's kind of like, I was in the Marine Corps, okay? So it's kind of like this. If I told you, hey, did you know we have a Marine Corps? You would say, yeah, I knew that. I would say to you, hey, did you know that the Marine Corps is one of the branches out of 4? We have the Marines, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. Did you know that? You say, yeah, I know that. And if I said to you, well, did you know that volunteers, people who, join the Marine Corps, they could be called to war to defend your freedom? People would say, yeah, I know that. But they don't know it at the same level as the person who has joined, who's living as a Marine day to day, training to go to war day to day, hearing stories of people who have been to war to prepare them to go to war day to day. They don't understand the nuance of the things that people who go to war hear, smell, and experience. And I think a lot of us are on that same boat as Christians when it comes to spiritual warfare. And this is why we need to pray for wisdom. But when God begins to give you that wisdom, understand that your grief will increase. But that is the time when you need to pray for more peace. And even if you are not praying for wisdom or getting wisdom, you might be going through something in your life right now where you do have grief and sorrow. I would encourage you to pray for peace. So that's wisdom, sorrow, and peace. Hopefully this is a help to somebody. I'll see you on the next one.